Okay, hi friends. Let's see, are we, yeah, we're recording. Awesome. Hi, Jen.
Hello. And I should have mentioned this to you before. I prefer Jennifer because my husband's name is John, and I feel like we're like the same person when people call us Jen and John. So I prefer Jennifer.
Okay,
My
awesome.
college friends call me Jen, and that was well before my husband, but I since have transitioned to Jennifer. So
Wonderful. Well, thank you. All these years I've known you and I just am learning this now. Thanks, Jennifer.
it's all good. All good.
Okay, wonderful. Well, let me introduce you guys to my dear friend and colleague, Jennifer McCune, who is a mom of three. She's a wife, an educator by trade. She has a PhD in Spanish. Um, she loves to help people, connect them, travel, and experience life. And we're talking with her a little bit about her experience starting her Road and Fields business. Why she did it, how it's going for her, anything like if you've ever wondered about whether it might be a good fit for you, that's great. Or maybe you have a relative who is currently thinking about starting their own Rodan Fields business. It's definitely a great way for you to learn more and find out if it might be a good fit. So Jennifer, let's start with how you first learned about Rodan Fields.
Yeah, so I was at a point in my life, this was 8 years ago now, that I was working full time. My kids were 5, 8, and 10. And I was also taking night classes to work on my project management certificate. And I was just thinking, gosh, there just has to be more out of life than dreading Monday morning, looking forward to Friday afternoon, kind of that rat race. I enjoyed my job, don't get me wrong, but I was looking for a way to work smarter rather than harder and having residual and passive income opportunities. And when I looked at what I saw as residual and passive income opportunities, like professional athlete, not going to happen. Professional singer, not going to happen. Professional actress, not going to happen. And so my mind was wide open to opportunities. And somebody posted about this on LinkedIn. I learned about it and was so excited about the past brand presence of this opportunity and the past brand presence of what these amazing women had done, both with their prior brand and this brand, that I was like, wow. And skincare, I mean, it's just self-care and taking care of our largest organ is super important to me. So I hopped on with much trepidation because I never thought I'd do anything like this and was really nervous, but embraced the fact that if we don't get outside of our comfort zone and work toward change, nothing will change.
Exactly. So you kind of touched on this, a little bit, but what were some of those concerns that you had and the trepidation before you started your business?
So, a big thing is I had never done anything like this. And I was really nervous about what people were going to think. I was really nervous on, frankly, I saw other people in our business model who were highly motivating and inspirational to me that I thought, wow, that's just an incredible life. And they want to help me do the same. And so I kept on focusing on that rather than worried. I was really worried about what my friends and family were going to think, frankly. And that it made me so nervous that I lost 10 pounds my first month in business, but I just made a goal of reaching out to 5 people a day and focused on abundance and joy in my heart and the vision of what I wanted to help for my family, my own children, our life, and the gift that I wanted to share with other people. And so it still was obviously nerve-wracking because one doesn't lose 10 pounds in a month if something's not going on. But I kept the vision of how this could be so beneficial in my heart and led with that when I reached out to people.
Wow, I did not know that. That's amazing. So tell me, all these you said it's been about 8.5 years. Looking back and looking at your life right now, what has owning your Rodan Fields business allowed you to do for yourself, for your family, for your community?
So it's given me back the joy of flexibility and time freedom, which for my family, you know, my eldest, we took him to college last week. He's now 18. And I, after 2 years of doing this business alongside my full-time life, I was able to leave that and have complete flexibility over my own time. And
Wow.
the 10-year-old went to an 18, almost 19-year-old in the blink of an eye, and having that opportunity to be with my kids before school, after school, build my life around them rather than my work around my life. I mean, you just cannot get that time back. And my kids always remark on that it's so wonderful to them that my husband, he's an entrepreneur as well in a different field, that we were both home all the time with our kids. That was very special and wonderful for them to have. They really appreciate that. And they see the gifts that entrepreneurship can bring to families as well. And then it's also given me the flexibility of time to do volunteer work in the community. I am the membership chair of a great women's philanthropic organization in Central Virginia. And I also host a women's networking group that is, you know, I just do for fun, so to speak. It's not to monetize. And then I get to take care of my physical health when I want to. Prior to doing this, I had to work out at 5 a.m., right? Or 6 a.m. I don't have to worry about trading sleep for working out. I can work out in the middle of the day if I want. I can, you know, having ownership over your own time is humongous on the gifts that it can bring to your life. So for me, for my family, my fitness, and my finances, those are my priorities. And the gift of flexibility has brought that to my life. And so I love sharing that other people can have that same opportunity if they would like.
That's amazing. I mean, that's so important to, like you said, be able to build that life, your life around your most important people, right? Versus someone else who's dictating what your hours are going to be. So tell me a little bit more about, you know, the challenges that you have, you know, you've had in your business, maybe when you first started, and how you were able to overcome those.
You know, the biggest challenge was my own fear and my own anxiety and nervousness and trepidation on what's going to happen when I call somebody and they pick up the phone. What are they going to say? And it's funny, you know, now we have hundreds of amazing, lovely leaders all over the US, Canada, and Australia on our team. And luckily, I've gone through that because most everybody starts with some fear of something. It's not like we're born into being entrepreneurs or having a home-based business or whatever it is that may be putting yourself outside of your comfort zone. And it's like back when we learned to walk, you know, we don't remember, but we fell down a lot and we didn't care. We just got back up. It's like with anything, you have to say, listen, it's okay to fall down. Those are learning opportunities. Those are teachable moments. And what it gave me was we work so much, as you well know, in Rodan and Fields on mindset. And I loved that. I love that gift of continually growing myself and helping inspire and motivate other people to be their best selves. And it starts with us at the foundation of being able to help others do that. And so me being, I think people see me now and think, well, you've just done all this and it's easy for you. And reminding others and reminding myself of what I went through to be more authentically real of the challenges life presents and the opportunities that we have to look at those as teachable moments and move forward and grow into our best selves. And that's a continual process, right? It's not like I did that 8.5 years ago and now it's over. It's a continuous, you know, the John Maxwell 5 leaders, 5 levels of leadership. It's continuously reinventing that when you're put in different situations, which you can look at as an exciting opportunity or as an opportunity for, oh, wow, I have to start this all over again, that whole mindset. And I'm really embracing this fantastic journey of opportunities for me and so many others.
I know, and you know, I had another conversation with someone else, you know, one of our other colleagues, and she mentioned, I wish I could have that snapshot or picture of me before I started this business, not of just my skin, but of myself as a person, and then have that after, because right now it's, she's like, I tried to do this, but it, unfortunately it can't be done unless somebody had you on camera kind of following you everywhere. So the personal growth that happens, it's tremendous for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So what, share a little bit more about what has helped you become successful in your business.
So, everything that we have in our lives can be seen as for good or for bad, right? We all have special gifts and special traits that we bring to the table. And one thing that I have is consistency and tenacity. And that really helped me with my dissertation. So we joke in academia world that a good dissertation is a done dissertation. Don't let perfect be whatever that saying is. I'm so bad at sayings, I always mess them up. But perfect can sabotage you from doing what you need to do. So from that really helped me. And I just figured do a little bit every day, touching people, having conversations with people, whether it's to help me in my business or whether just personally, it's so nice to connect with people. Maybe I can help somebody else. And so I never focused on this big, huge picture, because if you think about climbing a mountain, right? If you think about whatever, you look up and you see 10,000 feet or 2,000 feet or whatever it's going to be, it seems overwhelming. If you think about making 5 steps, you're like, oh, I can take 5 steps today. So I always focused on that, same as I did in my dissertation: edit for an hour, write for an hour, research for an hour. And I've brought that same mindset to, and I think that that's not just true in our business. It's true in most anything, whether it's a healthy lifestyle, writing a book, any entrepreneurial endeavor. It's just doing a little bit every day. That Darren Hardy compound effect is humongous, right? And so the people that have made the decision to work 1 day a month for 8 hours are going to have less and fewer productive results, whether it be from a healthy lifestyle choice or entrepreneurialism or writing a book, than the person who consistently puts in the time. It's just a reality. And so that, I'm consistent, and I have a lot of grit.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're always on the leaderboards, and so it's something I didn't say at the beginning, but I'm just really excited that we have this chance to chat, because I know a lot of people, whether they're exploring this business for themselves or whether they are our colleagues, they can really learn a lot from you and from your example.
Well, that's kind. Thank you.
Of course, of course. So, so one other, question that I would love to ask, and I love asking this, of people in our business, and, what is it that you think makes people fail? If you were to name that one thing.
Here's what I would say is that people are so worried. They get all excited and think, oh, I'm going to do this business. And either they sign up and ask what other people think, or they don't even sign up and start asking what other people think. And they're so worried about what other people think that they let them free. They let those thoughts freeze them in what could be their potential. And I don't care. It doesn't even have to be Rodan at Fields. It could be trying out for the Olympics or doing another business or writing a book or being a film star or being a professional singer. Pick your, big, hairy, audacious goals, your BHAGs, that other people, that you've surrounded yourself with people who live in a different world of dreams and opportunities. And if you want to move beyond that, you either have to just jump in and leap and start surrounding yourself with new people, or be okay with maybe not pleasing everybody, and understanding that at the end of the day, you are the one who pays your bills. And once I realized that I'm the one who pays my bills, and I have the opportunity to create this dream life for myself, I do not have to wait for anybody else to do it. That really helps. And of course, as you see varying amounts of success, with activity comes success, the easier it is to say those sorts of things in your head. And that's why in the beginning, it can be extra hard, where you're planting the seeds of what you want your dream life to be, with or without anybody's approval, but the recognition in your own heart that you need to try and you need to give it a fair shot of at least a year without letting the naysayers choose your life, because they're not going to pay your bills.
Exactly. Exactly. So, in closing, I would love for you to kind of give, some advice to people who are currently kind of on the fence, or they're considering starting their business with Rodan and Fields, or, potentially even, anything else that they might be, starting, but specifically, if they're looking at this as an opportunity to do something for their family, what would you tell them? What kind of advice do you give people that are in that position?
Yeah, and I think that's a great question. And this can apply to Rodan and Fields or any sort of lifelong goal. This is really all encompassing. So, and it's something that I did. Because of my PhD in Spanish, I love culture and languages. I've lived in Italy, I've lived in Spain. And one thing that I recognize in the US, we're focused on what do you do professionally? And a lot of other countries are focused on, what do you love to do? How do you love to spend your time? And I thought, when I was at this place, and I think before I said 8 years ago, but it's actually where I was at this place 9 years ago when I was going through this process, I decided that I needed to start asking myself a different question, because I was thinking about how I wanted to change my life professionally, to be the mom that I wanted to be, but also to make the money that I knew that we needed to make as a family. And I had been asking myself, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And I realized that we're always going to do what we want to do, right? And I realized I needed to ask myself, how do you want to live? So I envisioned myself 5 years in the future, and I thought about the things that were important to me to fulfill those goals. And first of all was flexibility. I wanted to have the time to be with my kids before and after school. I want the time to travel the world, back when we could travel, to see my parents, to really see my friends, to not be tied down and have a job tell me if and when I could live my life, right? So flexibility. I also wanted to be remunerated in a professionally appropriate way and not have any caps or limits on me. I also wanted to be in an empowering environment that people lifted each other up. I was not seeing that in corporate. I was seeing more of a who can scramble to the top the quickest, and I wanted an empowering environment. And I also wanted an intellectually stimulating environment. If I'm not continuously growing my mind and my heart and my soul, it doesn't feed me. And so when I learned about Rodan and Fields, my skepticism was there, very front and center. But I took a step back and I said, okay, you've gone through this process of what you value in life and what 5 years from now, when you envision your life, those things are going to take you where you want to be. Does this fulfill those check boxes? And it did. So I said yes. So I think for anybody who is going through this process of figuring out, think about what you want your life to look like 5 years from now, and eliminate all thoughts of any other world craziness, but really you individually, how do you want to live your life? And look at the values that are important to you. And then when you're considering opportunities, understand that if they fulfill those check boxes, even if it's something you never thought you were going to do, well, frankly, that might be the answer. Because if you want to get someplace you haven't been before, you're going to have to do something you've never done before. That's just the reality. And that lies outside of our comfort zones. And that is where living really begins. Correct?
So true. So true. And, I don't think, I think most of us, in this business have never really dreamed of being skincare consultants, or really were into skincare, right?
I've always cared about my skin because I'm so fair that I've had numerous burns. But apart from it as a health thing, no, right. I did not think of it beyond that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I was the same way. Yes. I care about health, and that was my priority. And that completely aligns with, this business. But but even like makeup or, you know, hair, you know, or anything like that, you know, it wasn't really my priority. But yeah, thank you so much, Jennifer, for such an, you know, such an inspiring point of view. And I love how, you know, you were able to kind of in such little time to really kind of open up, you know, hopefully, you know, inspire some people and, you know, open up their minds. And I've learned a lot myself. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And let, you know, let this coming year be an absolute blessing, you know, for you and your family and for everyone in our audience. And thanks again.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I appreciate you, Olia.